took this internship right before leaving to college, or in between my senior and my junior year of high school. So it really cemented in my interest in science, because as a high school student, all you know about science is what you're taught in a classroom, which is stuff that's already developed, or stuff that's already concrete, and something that's already been in a textbook for the past 30 years. So when you get put into a program like this, you're actually doing way more than what you would be expected to do in like a high school lab setting where you already know the results. You're actually put into a situation where you don't know what the results are or what you're doing, or you don't know the people you're working with either. So it definitely demands that you are able to communicate well, and you're able to work with new people, and you're able to be very independent, because that's one thing that I learned when I was working in the lab was I'd get Dr. Falks to be like, okay, what do we want to do? And we'd make something and we'd formulate a plan, and then he'd say, go. And I'd say, okay. And so pretty much I'd be, doing my own thing in the lab, and really self-motivated kind of work. And I guess it worked out because of how my own attitude was towards the work. It was really helpful because I had my own motivation and my own way to be working through. But so it definitely cemented, your interest in science, and showed you a lot more of what there is out there. And so, when I got into college and I had more work to be doing and more science, I always had this in my background, in my resume, was that I, had been not only in a science internship, but that I'd also been published. And so that was obviously a great advantage that always, made me stand out amongst, anyone else, because I was, a freshman, or I guess I was like a sophomore in college, and I was already, a published author, which was amazing. Not that many people that are so young are already published, and also a lot of people who were my age had never had research experience yet. A lot of the research that you get to do in college in your first few years is basically cleaning dishes, cleaning petri dishes, and cleaning up labs and feeding fish and feeding mice. And so this internship is so awesome because it really lets you do hands-on work. You're doing the science. You're not doing the cleaning. You're not doing, the paid position of just, doing the little cleanup. You're actually doing the work. So it gives you a great edge on other students who have never actually done actual research methods and data collection and writing up findings and stuff like that. So, definitely when it came to applying for vet school and for applying for university and everything like that, I had so much experience already, as a high school student, that it helped in my development. By the time I got into college, I was already beyond other students because they had never had this opportunity before. A lot of kids get bored with science because we get presented the same things from, elementary school. We know all the different types of rock and the different clouds and plants and flora and fauna. And, some kids just get bored with that because they think that science isn't a changing thing, that it's the same. And a lot of people don't realize that science is always changing. That's what's so awesome about it. So, anyone who's interested in science, obviously this is awesome for them. Anyone who's hardworking, I think that, some of the qualities that you have to have as an intern is going to be someone can be relatively independent, who's hardworking, and good communication skills, because, we're not lab rats. We're not sitting in there just, hunched over our microscopes, doing our thing. A researcher has to be able to, explain and be able to make other people understand what you've been doing. It doesn't matter how complex of a work you're doing. If the average person doesn't understand it, then, how has this been so useful? The public can't gain from it. So, anyone like that, anyone with those skills and, an interest in science or an interest in what they're doing. Because, if you're not interested in it, then you're not going to benefit from it. You're not going to have your own motivation. So definitely interested in whatever they're applying for.